Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox back for another episode. I'm absolutely thrilled today to have with me Mindy Wendele. It's been way too long. Mindy is with the Kerrville Chamber of Commerce. I'm thrilled to have her today, and I'm even more thrilled because of the great work the chamber is doing post-flood. With that incredibly long introduction, first of all, welcome, Mindy.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here. Excited to be here. It's a beautiful place.
Thank you. So could you tell our audience a little bit about your professional background?
Sure, absolutely. I was born and raised here in Kerrville. And after I graduated from Tavia High School, it's like, I cannot wait to get out of here. Went to college years and first part of my life and went, okay, Kerrville's not quite as bad as I thought it was when I was 18, when I wanted out of here. Moved back, and I spent 10 years in small business with my late mother, Marge Nicholson. We had a travel agency and did a lot of wonderful travel business. Then I transitioned into municipal work. I was with the city of Kerrville for almost 20 years. I did the business development program. I was the director of business programs, which means economic development, downtown redevelopment, anything that the city manager wanted for business development. I did, and my crew did. Then transitioned into nonprofit management, and for 6 years, and then now here I am with the chamber. I was not looking for the job; the job came looking for me, so it was kind of intriguing.
The reason I asked you to come down for this podcast today, though, was the chamber's response after the flood. And I mean, can you just talk us through July 4, July 5, July 6? And as I understand it, you guys were already up and running by that Monday.
That's correct. And thank you for the opportunity to tell our story, really. The Chamber of Commerce has been around for 103 years. We are what we call a 501c6 enterprise corporation, so forth. Last year, the board of directors said, look, we need to have another programming ability. So let's go with the trend of Chambers of Commerce and Convention and Visitors Bureau. And let's apply for, and hopefully get a designation from the IRS for a 501c3 nonprofit. It would be another tool in the toolbox, if you would. So we applied in late December of 2024, got our designation letter in warp speed. And April of 2025, we seated our last board member of the 7-member board of the Chamber Foundation on July the 1st. And then July the 4th happened. The intent was to have a vehicle with the Chamber Foundation to be able to allow donations for our leadership, Kerr County, and their projects that they do every year as fundraisers, giving back to the community as good leaders as they are, and to provide scholarships, maybe institute, stand up, launch a junior leadership, that kind of thing. Just some kind of brainstorming some ways to use that vehicle. And then July 4th changed all that. We were in the office. I called the staff together, and we came to the office on July the 5th, the morning of July the 5th, and we got busy and stood up the Kerrville Area Rebuilding and Recovery Fund, whereas it's twofold. You could sit on one side of the desk and send money to us, or you could be on the other side of the desk and apply for small business grants. So we quickly got that stood up and immediately started getting donations from all over the state, all over the United States, to be able to get emergency cash grants into the hands of our small business community. The very first act from the Chamber Foundation Board was these businesses do not have to be a chamber member. We have 820 chamber members right now, but we did not want to limit it to that. Everyone needed help. We also went so far as to say, look, we don't even need to stay in Kerr County. There's parts of Kendall County, our friends in Comfort, that need us too. So we got busy and developed a very brief application process. It's just very basic. So we started taking those applications in on July the 6th. We awarded our first check on July the 10th, and we haven't stopped. Our grants are between $2,500 up to $10,000. To date, we have raised north of $1.7 million, and we have given out almost $1.4 million. Quick math tells us where's the rest of it. The rest of it is in phase 1B, as we're calling it. We are circling back around to some of those businesses that are specific to the tourism and hospitality industry. That industry in Kerr County is, I like to say it's the number one industry, but some people disagree with me. Okay, we're tied. That industry employs well over 1,100 people in Kerr County alone. They're absolutely disheveled now. That industry has taken the biggest, as far as businesses go, the biggest impact from the flood. So it's not just the large employers like the camps, if you will. It's all the ancillary businesses that stand them up. Cleaning crews, maintenance crews, businesses that supply their paper goods, their drug inventory, you name it, it just keeps going on and on. So whereas our funding might be small in comparison to some of the estimates that we are seeing with damage, it really has been a great help to 222. That's our number to date of small businesses that we've helped.
I want to focus on one word you said in that answer, and that's the word grant. This is not a loan.
Correct.
And can you explain the difference in why the chamber felt it was so important to make a grant as opposed to loans, which are available from other sources to business people within Kerr County?
Correct. It is a grant. That means that no money needs to be paid back to us. All the donations that we have received from, like I said, all over the United States, we have a fiduciary responsibility to those folks to say, look, we're going to get your donations out into the hands of business owners as a grant. We don't do loans. We're not bankers. We're not even wealth managers. We are the chamber, and now the Chamber Foundation. One less thing for someone to have to worry about is, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay this small loan back? We didn't want to put that on people. Besides, as you said, there's others that are doing that. There's others in the community that are doing just that, whether it's in the federal level with the SBA or the more local level, the Lift Fund. Lift Fund is a nonprofit also based out of San Antonio. The CEOs up here quite often, and they have opened a temporary office right here in our community. People can get grants, but they also do zero interest loans too. Why duplicate services? We didn't want to do that. We wanted to make sure that cash got in the hands as quick as possible. The application process is very simple, as I said. Basically, we need to know who you are and really that you are who you are. We need to have documents that say your business is what your business is, and that the federal government, state government recognizes that with the appropriate paperwork. And if it's damages, we want to see pictures. Now, even with all of that, there's two lines of defense. We have 5 employees of the city, 5 employees of the chamber. We brought one on just to handle grant administration. 3 of the 5 of us are from Kerrville. So what that tells us is that we know a lot of people. If one of us doesn't know, the other one will, and on. And that has really helped immensely to squelch the fraud. I've led a sheltered life. I don't think people should be mean and ugly and want to fraud people out of things, but we experienced that at the chamber. And luckily, because we know so many people, we have not lost any money to fraud. We are on guard the whole time. We have had to change our processing. No longer can we receive anything via the internet, via email, via any kind of fill in the blank kind of thing. They have to actually walk into our office so we can see them, meet them, greet them, talk to them. Again, because it's cash, it's grants, it's not loans. So we want to make sure that our donors' money are going exactly where it's supposed to be.
I've heard the city manager speak about 3 phases after the flood. Phase 1 was rescue and recovery, and we are, I think, near the end or at the end of that phase. Phase 2 is debris removal, which he has estimated 18 to 24 months to complete. But the third phase, and the one I've thought the most about, is the economic recovery of Kerrville and Kerr County. And here he estimated literally 5 to 10 years. How has the chamber started to think about its role in the longer term recovery, and what can business people do who want to help the chamber or work on that part of our recovery?
The steps are exactly right. And those folks who have reached out to us in the chamber world and beyond, you can always tell when they have gone through a catastrophic event like we're going through. And even so much to say, here's your steps, here's what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, basically. And you need to be thinking about certain things. The chamber and the Kerr Economic Development Corporation and the city of Kerrville, three of us got together on that Monday after the floods, and we created the Kerr Together group. Asked former Mayor Judy Eichner to head that task force up, and she did graciously and beautifully. That group has been meeting, which I'm a part of, as representing the chamber and the Chamber Foundation, once a week for the last 8 weeks. That group has now morphed into the long-term recovery group. So it looks a little different because we have identified pillars that what we need to work on for the long-term recovery. So we have folks that are representing business recovery, mental health, and that recovery. Tourism folds right into the business recovery, unmet needs. There's, as we call them, the bubbles. The bubbles are 7 bubbles that we are all working in for the long-term recovery. What we have been doing with the chamber is I have become very good friends with our folks over in Austin, the Texas Association of Businesses, and the TCCE, which is the Texas Chamber of Commerce Executives. By the nature of those two associations, we have just a limitless resource with folks that have been through these kind of things before to help us craft a structure that we can help not only the first 2 months, first 6 months, year, 2, 5, 6, 7, because this is not, as you said, this is not an overnight fix. We have put into place some partnerships with some local large businesses here to help make sure that our chamber members are getting everything that they need. They're already members of the chamber. If they were affected, and it's not just they've lost equipment or lost a building, it's all that trickle down of businesses that we've already talked about. If they are like, oh my gosh, I can't even participate in chamber activities, I can't pay my dues, that kind of stuff. We are in collaboration with a large employer here to help try to lessen the burden on the small business so they don't drop off the face of the chamber world or completely close. That is a very fluid structure at this point, because what they need today is going to be different this time next week and on. Business interruption, we have targeted business interruption, which means anything that has interrupted their normal July 3rd and past cost of doing business modeling, that kind of thing. So we're reaching out to all business, not just chamber, all businesses, and say, look, what's impacted you? Tell us about your story. Tell us what you need. Tell us who you've talked to so we can collaborate with any and all that will listen and hold hands with us. And knowing full well, this is a long-term situation. Last thing we want to have happen is that our business community feel alone. They're not alone. We're with them. We have friends that we didn't even know we had. And so that's a very comforting thing. But by working with the Kerr EDC, the city of Kerrville, the chamber has really stood up with our partners and the larger employers to be able to help the smaller employers. Again, it's very fluid. So, what we put out, in fact, we just emailed a bunch out yesterday. We're getting those responses in. How are you? What do you need? What don't you have? Who turned you down? That kind of stuff. Talk to us. Let's meet about this. And I'm so excited that they're responding. They're responding to us. We have gone out to make calls. We finally have had just a few hours during the week just to go out and make calls on people that we have not heard from, members or not, doesn't matter, and knock on doors and say, hey, how are you? What can we help you with? Interestingly enough, The people that really have been so grateful and so wonderful, which are 99% of them, they go, we're fine. Give your help to somebody else. Here's someone that you need to talk to. So it's just that rolling structure that we look at every day to see how we can reach out to the businesses.
I've heard the figure of $39 million in income generated by the summer camping season for Kerr County.
Correct.
And a large part of that would be in Kerrville. Are groups thinking about the implications if those businesses cannot open for a year or two, or something catastrophic might happen to those business models in terms of not just sales, but tax revenue and an entire package of what they bring and what they mean to this county?
And it's a $39 million economic driver for our community. That's pretty significant money. And if that goes away, or even in part goes away, we're going to look very different this Memorial Day of 2026. The Chamber Foundation board and staff are working with a couple of other larger foundations to be able to help the camps in reopening, in rebuilding, whatever that might look like, because they don't even know yet quite really what that's going to look like, because a lot of this is out of their control, and I would never ever speak for them, but a lot of it's out of their control. All of the legislation that is coming down from the state and the federal level, and our dear friend Charlie Hastings, county engineer, has got his hands full. He's the perfect man for the job, and his staff, to be able to navigate all of the FEMA, all of the floodplain, floodway, all of those things. So the rebuilding is not just as simple as, okay, it's gone, let's rebuild. It's not that simple. So by working with some of our larger foundations to help identify the needs, and short-term, midterm, long-term, we are working very diligently to be able to see how we can help fund partial rebuilding when appropriate. And I say when appropriate because that is out of our bailiwick. We don't say when it's appropriate. There's governmental agencies, obviously, to be able to say that. But we work hand in hand with them, and hopefully we will be hearing very soon some good news that we'll be able to help with them with some cash infusion for the rebuild, because I can't, again, speak for all of the camps, but I think if I were a camp owner, I would want to be able to rebuild whatever that might look like for Memorial Day of 2026, as I said, to be able to open and to welcome campers and their families back into the Hill Country family.
I spent 40 years living in Houston the second time around. So I lived through a couple of hurricanes, lived through Harvey, and saw a massive response, but it was typically led at the federal level. This is not a federally led response.
Correct.
You certainly can work in conjunction with feds and the state, but this is a local led initiative. Could you say a few words about the local nature of what you and your team are doing, and why it's so important for we as perverts, if I can use that term, to lead this effort ourselves?
And you're so right. We keep hearing over the last 8 weeks about how other catastrophes, other incidences in other towns, other cities has been led by the federal components. And yes, we do need them. Yes, we did need the president to do a declaration so we could release funds to be able to help with the debris, the cleanup, the offering of financial assistance at the different levels for the SBA and FEMA. However, we, at the end of the day, all of us in this room and all of our families and all of our contemporaries and all of the citizens in Kerr County, hopefully we're going to be here. We are open for business, and we're going to be here. And so it's our responsibility, not the state government and not the federal government. At the end of the day, they're our people. And by working with our local foundations and our local churches, they have been absolutely fabulous to answer the need. If it's unmet needs, if it's spiritual needs, if it is mental health needs, food insecurities, those type of things, that's what we have been holding hands and doing. That's why we meet once a week. We meet once a week and hear reports. What do you need? How do you need it? What can we do? I'll get on that. Those are the comments that we come out of those meetings with. By Mercy Chefs being here and entering into a contractual agreement with the First United Methodist Church and the Rio Conference for Mount Wesley Light on the Hill. That whole campus now is flood and disaster recovery. Mercy Chefs are there. They've redone the kitchen. It was a beautiful kitchen to begin with, and now it really is pretty. But then it doesn't just end there because in business, yes, immediate needs being met, food, hungry, yes, absolutely, we need to do that. We also have business owners that are restaurateurs. They need to make a living. They need to pay their staff. They need to be able to purchase their inventory and serve their customer too. So we have to do a balance of nonprofit holding hands with the business community. So we're working on that component too, because again, we're all in this together. Samaritan's Purse. They know a little bit about North Carolina, knows a little bit about catastrophes and so forth. That group has been here since day 2. They are going to be here. They have signed a midterm lease for retail space that they will be here for quite a few months to come. And their mission is to help people that need to furnish a new home, a remodeled home, a restored home, that may not have the means to do it. They do not want to take the place of Moore's Home Furnishings or Ashley Furniture or any of that. They don't want to take the place that they want to work in tandem with them to be able to provide for the folks who have lost so much. It's just, it's something as simple as, it seems simple, but it's really not. The Airbnb Foundation. Did we know Airbnb had a foundation? I didn't. It was like, wow, this is great. They're helping house displaced flood folks in housing while their house is being built or rebuilt. So there's those collaborative efforts that we as the local level working with the maybe not so local, but not government is really helping get us through this. And at the end of the day, we can stand back and go, look, we did this. We had help from us outside, but we're going to love on and be with our folks here and say, we are being made whole. It may take us a while, but we're being made whole. We are open for business, and soon the Guadalupe River, she looks a little different. She's going to be beautiful in another way. And soon she'll be open too, to welcome back all the visitors.
A couple of times you have mentioned mental health, and I want to ask a few questions about that, but I want to focus on perhaps not as much sort of mental health around grief, but mental health around business loss and how business owners can be as affected, and maybe some of the services or just support business owners can get in that part of their recovery.
We have been working with the MMHD folks and offer that to any of our businesses that come in and say, look, they are on the boots on the ground. They are here. They're ready to visit with you. They don't even have to say anything. If you just want to talk to them about your business loss. And again, it's not just physical loss. It's not just brick and mortar. It's most of the businesses that we've been able, the honor to help. And they put their heart and soul in their business, and then finances too. But it's much more than the money. It's the emotional investment that people have had with their businesses. And so MMHD and other counselors have been Johnny on the spot to help the business owners too, just to let them talk and let them visit about what they have lost. They may not have lost any loved one, but they've lost a loved one in their business, the way it used to look. As I said, on July the 3rd, the churches have been so good about that also. Being able to collaborate with and reach out to, be receptive to business owners that they can talk about their business. We all have, and I'm not a mental health professional at all, but we all have stories. That was one thing I said to the staff at the chamber, and I was talking to myself a lot. When people come in and we visit with them about these small business grants, we have to listen to their stories. We have to make ourselves listen to the stories. And sometimes that's hard because some of the stories we're hearing are so heart-wrenching that it's hard to hear it. And then we go on to the next and to the next. And so I've talked with the mental health professionals to say, hey, can we as a business, as the Chamber Business Association, can you help us? I said, absolutely. We'll help any business that wants to, whether it's a business association, mom and pop, large, it doesn't matter. We're there to help. Because that's part of the healing process, just like getting a permit to rebuild or a grant or a no interest loan. That's part of the process also.
I'm going to end with something a little bit more personal. You're a Kerrville girl. You left to go to college and work.
Right.
You worked in the private sector.
Right.
You worked in the public sector. You worked in the nonprofit sector. And that puts you in a unique position on July 4th and July 5th to step up in a way you may never have. Could you just say a few words about what this healing process has meant to you personally, and to be able to help so much others in our community who were affected?
Yes. All those things led up to where we are today, as you said, and I'm a firm believer in we're placed where we're supposed to be. We are placed where we're supposed to serve. And when people would say, thank you so much for all you're doing, and I say it today, we are doing for those who can't, and we will continue to do that. That is extremely important to the Chamber staff, the Chamber Board of Directors, the Chamber Foundation Board of Directors. I report to 2 different boards now, and it's a lot. But we're put in places where we're supposed to serve. And because of all that background you just mentioned, that's where I'm supposed to be. And the others in my office, our office, that's where they're supposed to be. They are servant-hearted people, almost to a detriment. Almost to, I say, you have to get out of here. You have to go. We will help. We will help. We will help. But you need to take care of yourself. So it's very meaningful to me to be able to say, I am from Kerrville, Texas. I'm not that 18-year-old that wanted to leave and never come back as Podunk town. I am so proud that I'm from here. My family's from, I'm a generational Kerrvillian, proud to say, and I'm 6th generation Kerr County, and my mother was born here. I was born here. My daughter was born here. My grandson was born here. I'm very proud of that. Very proud that we can be where we are and help as many people as we can. And we want to help. We want to help. We're there to help.
Could you tell our listeners where they could go online if they wanted to make a donation or find out any more about the work the Kerrville Chamber of Commerce is doing at this point?
Yes, it's very easy. World Wide Web, www.kerrvillechamber.biz. It's B-I-Z. That will connect you to our chamber website. And right front and center is the Kerrville Area Rebuilding and Recovery Fund. You can click on that to donate. If it is a business, click on that and you can apply. You can download the application and fill in the blanks and bring it to us. So we try to serve all. So those who want to give and those who want to be qualified to receive. And very easy to do. kerrvillechamber.biz. We always like to see people. 1700 Sidney Baker Street. We're there 9 to 5, Monday through Thursday, 9 to 4 on Fridays, except during flood time, and we're there a lot more. Our phone number is area code 830-896-1155. It's really easy, and we'd love to buy you a cup of coffee.
Mindy, thank you so much, and I promise it won't be so long before the next time.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.